Stop chasing professional football until you watch this video. First of all, thank you so much for being here. Within this video, I'm gonna tell you everything that you need to know before chasing professional football. If you watch this video, I promise you, it will save you lots of time, lots of energy, and lots of money. And those are the three most important assets in our life. Before I get into the video, let me quickly introduce myself. My name is Eric Friedlander, and I am the founder of RicFit. We've been in business for 8 years now, and over the last year, our goal has mainly been to focus on helping undiscovered talent get to the professional level. Why is that? Because I've been in your shoes. I've been in the undiscovered talent shoes, and I've seen what the industry has in store. I want to tell you the truth and the realities of this ugly but beautiful industry. So the truth is this: you're watching this video because you want to be a professional footballer. You've probably had the dream since you've been a young boy or a young girl. And I love that, and I completely understand that. But you got to understand, this is not an easy industry. This is a cutthroat industry. This is a business. Football is a revolving door. They want the young players to come in, they want the old players out, they want to develop the young players, and then they want to sell them and make a profit. Once you realize football is a business and you are the asset, you are the commodity, you'll finally be free and you'll stop blaming others. So what you need to realize before you chase the pro dream is you need to look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, are you good enough already to be a professional? That's a question you got to ask yourself. Because at the end of the day, I always see players complaining about agents, about clubs, about scouts. But maybe you should stop blaming those people and look at yourself and say, am I actually good enough? Especially if you go overseas as a foreigner, you have to be at least 1.5 to 2 times better than the local players they have. Because as a foreign player, you cost more money, you're gonna be much more work, much more paperwork, and most of the time, you're only gonna stay at the club for 6 months to a year. They'll be lucky if you stay there for 18 to 24 months, right? Most of the guys who are coming up through their academy, they'll be there for a majority of their lives, a couple years. And why do they care more about their academy and their local players? It's for a number of reasons. Number one, they can develop them through their system, and then they can eventually sell them. They can get a recurring transfer fee on the player. That obviously depends on the clauses that are in the contract with the player and the club. The next thing is they speak the language. The next thing after that is which means if they speak the language, they fit in better with the boys. And then probably the last thing is they know they're gonna be more loyal to the club than you are as a foreigner. What it means is you have to be that much better on and off the field. And when you show up, you need to be fully ready. You need to be a true professional. We speak to thousands of players per month, and they come on a call with me and my team and they tell us, Rick, I wanna be a professional. But then once they start working with me personally, they don't get me what they need to get me within a week or a couple days. A true professional, they get tests, they get an assessment, they get a questionnaire, they get a diary. It's filled in and it's back to me. And the players who succeed, the players that have signed the pro contracts, not shockingly enough, are the guys that get me the stuff back right away. Why? Because how you do anything is how you do everything. Because you don't have the mentality and the mindset and the discipline, you're never gonna make it in this game. Yes, you can have talent, but if you have a lot of talent, agents are gonna find you. If you're coming to us and you're an undiscovered piece of talent, you haven't been discovered yet by agents, right? So you wanna work directly with us, and then we'll work with you either in 2 ways. We'll work with you as an agent, as an intermediary, working with other agents who have the license so we can make legal deals. Or we'll put you through our 6-month training program, our 6-month nutrition, to make sure that you're actually a true professional. Because at the end of the day, what you don't realize and what parents don't realize is this is a business. And you want to complain about this agent, that agent, he's a scam, he said this, he said that. But at the end of the day, the reason agents aren't answering your emails and your messages is most likely because you're not good enough. You don't have a good enough highlight video. You don't have a good enough CV or resume for them to work for you for free just for a commission. So what you need to do instead is come in with a more positive mindset, understand the industry, understand the business, because agents don't want to take risks on you. Because what is the major thing that an agent can have if you go to a trial and you perform poorly? The agent gets one strike. They send one more bad player that interrupts the team training, that the other players don't like, that behaves poorly, that shows up late. And then they're going to completely burn that connection, which can be thousands and hundreds of thousands and maybe millions down the line. So that's the main reason agents aren't answering you. So with all that being said, you got to look at where you're currently at, stop being a victim, and say to yourself, hey, am I currently the best player at my team? Am I the best player in this league? Can I dominate? Once you hit that threshold, and once you start hearing from ex-professionals, from professional coaches, from guys who are currently coaches that played professional, when you start hearing those rumors, when you start hearing, hey buddy, you do have the level, you do have the level, stick to it, that's when you know you're getting there, right? But you can't stop. You gotta keep going, you gotta keep working. We wanna serve the underdogs. That's why you're here. That's why you follow us. We wanna serve the guys and the girls who fell through the cracks, who didn't go through the typical academy route, who weren't born in the right environment, and just say to themselves, okay, these are the cards I was dealt, this is what's happened, and this is what I'm gonna do going forward. And that's another point for you, right? Stop complaining that you weren't born in Germany, that you weren't born in England, that you weren't born in Spain, that you weren't born in Italy, and just say, okay, I was born here, these are my current skill sets, these are my current strengths, these are my current weaknesses, and then set yourself up a plan, create your own professional environment, and say to yourself, you know what? Screw the excuses. I'm gonna take everything that I got right now and I'm gonna push myself forward to be the best player and the best person possible. So moving into the next topic of this video is, do you actually wanna be a pro, or are you just someone who wants to post it on Instagram and Facebook and tell your friends and your family, right? Are you a parent that actually wants your son or daughter to play professionally, or you just wanna go sit down at the dinner table and tell your friends and family that, oh yeah, we sent him over to an overseas academy and he's playing professionally? That's not true professional level. If you want to get to the true professional level, you work with people like us. People who will put your child, your son, your daughter directly in front of a club, and then essentially if they're good enough, they will prove to the club that they're an asset and they deserve to be invested in. And for the players that are watching, look yourself in the mirror and say, hey, do I really want to play professionally? Am I willing to cut out my social life, cut out all distractions, stop going out, stop drinking, stop eating the crap food, go to sleep early, wake up early, watch film, train hard every single day, 110%, remain consistent, remain disciplined, because if you do, you are going to be a powerful individual on and off the pitch. Be the role model that you wish you had when you were younger. That's what I'm trying to do, right? I started my brand because I'm the mentor that I wish I had. So ask yourself, am I willing to be overseas? Lonely, cold, tough times, good times. Because this is a roller coaster. As an underdog, this is not easy. I'm not painting you a picture, painting you a dream. I'm telling you the reality. So are you someone who's willing to come home to an empty apartment when you play poorly in training, or you play poorly in a game and you get yelled at by the coach, you get yelled at by teammates, you get booed by the fans, you get food thrown at you by the fans, you get cursed at by the fans? Are you willing to actually endure that? And if you can, fine, okay? Because a FaceTime is not the same as having someone in person. Being overseas, speaking different languages, being in a new culture is hard. It's the best mental test you can ever do. And I would encourage it to anyone watching, any parent watching, because it's the best teacher. Because you learn new cultures, you learn new languages, you learn how to deal with people, you learn how to build relationships, you grow your network, right? Because your network is your net worth. Part 3 of this video, I want to talk about having a 5-year contract with yourself. And if you actually did everything I said in the beginning part of the video, and you actually know you want to play professionally now, sign a contract with yourself and say, I'm going all in. 5 years on this dream. I need a legitimate path. I need a legitimate journey. I need a legitimate structure, and go all in. When you do that, then you're gonna live with no regret, right? Because when you're 80, when you're 85, when you're 90, sitting back on your rocking chair, drinking some coffee or tequila, whatever you're doing, you wanna say to yourself, I gave it all. If you don't commit 5 years, there's no point, right? And if you're here right now and you say, I can't commit 5 years, or you're a parent and you say, I don't want my child to commit 5 years, that's fine. But there's always solutions, right? That's why we help players get remote jobs. That's why we help players get into college. That's why we help players find online degrees, right? To make sure that you're satisfied as a parent and your kid is satisfied and they have a plan B. I don't even like to call it plan B. I like to have it doing something in parallel with their main goal. So the next part I want to talk about is part 4. I want to talk about faking it till you make it, right? At the end of the day, if you're not a professional right now, you got to act like a professional. You got to do everything that a professional does. You got to wake up and go to sleep at the same time. You got to go to the gym to do your prehab work, to do your complex and explosive movements. You got to be on the pitch after training. You got to be on the pitch doing your individual work, working on your weaknesses, working on your strengths. You got to eat properly. You got to sleep properly. You got to surround yourself with the right people. You got to build your network. You got to get yourself a remote job if you think you need it, or you do some online schooling. Whatever you think your path is. I like the remote job better because you're actually in an industry making money. So let's dive into part number 5, agents, combines, open trials. Do you need an agent? Are combines good? Should you go to open trials? At your current stage, if you're undiscovered, you don't need an agent. You can do all this stuff by yourself, or you can work with a mentor like myself and like us, right? Should you go to open trials? Should you go to combines? Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. The reality is you're going to a field, you're going to a pitch with about 100 players, and there are about 10 to 15 coaches around the sidelines. Sometimes the coaches are looking for players, sometimes they're not. Obviously, it depends on the company. It depends who they're running it. Obviously, we have a good relationship with one of them. The rest of them, I don't really know about. I don't like to talk bad about anyone else in the industry. At the end of the day, some of them get results, some of them don't. Make sure you do your research before you go to one of those. Open trials, same exact thing. I actually like combines better than open trials because open trials, you're going directly to a club, but you're still training and working with about 50 to 100 players, fighting for like one spot, if that, right? So I would not do open trials. So at the end of the day, you can see the path is hard, the path is not easy, but I fully believe if you truly want it as bad as you say you do, you can do anything you put your mind to. I don't think anything in this world is impossible. So what I would advise you to do is fully go all in. Go all in right now on your full potential and dive in to creating yourself a nice structure, a nice game plan, and go back and watch the rest of this video. Number 1, ask yourself if you're good enough, right? That's the most important part. Number 2, are you just doing this to prove it to people, to prove people how good you are, to post on Instagram that you're a pro, or you want it as badly as you say you do? Number 3, are you actually currently living like a pro? Number 4, do you need an agent? Do you need combines? Do you need open trials? I forgot to mention the most important part. Have a 5-year contract with yourself and fully commit to going all in on this dream. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to work one-on-one directly with me, click the link below, hop on a call with my team, myself, and we'll see how we can help you achieve this dream of playing professionally. Because from me to you, if you put your mind to this and you go 110% on this for at least 5 years, you will get to the pro level. Have a great rest of the day. Stay safe, stay healthy. Keep following us. Make sure you subscribe. Deuces.